What's up, guys? Welcome back to News Dump.
Not any news dump either. It's a very heavy and rushed news dump because this past week has given us a lot of news to munch on, and frankly, we're feeling a bit bloated. So, two major but totally unrelated events overlapped this week just slightly, with the Republican National Convention going down in Cleveland, Ohio, and then Comic-Con International happening down in San Diego. This is the first year in a while that we haven't actually traveled down to San Diego to cover Comic-Con on location, and honestly, I could not be happier.
This is great.
Yeah, it's a goddamn zoo down there. It's too many people, it's too hot. It's much more comfortable watching it from afar with internet binoculars.
And I'm gonna leave after this, and I'm going down there just to party.
Yeah.
No working. Gonna be great.
It's a great system.
Now, as we record this, Comic-Con is still happening, so we might be missing out on some big reveals here, but that's doubtful. The number of huge panels this year is pretty weak compared to previous years when Marvel used the convention to promote their entire year after that. But this year, we at least got some awesome first looks at what's coming from Marvel's Netflix shows. In addition to offering up a great sizzle reel showing off the next seasons of Daredevil and Jessica Jones, and the upcoming series Luke Cage, and teasers for both Iron Fist and the Defenders, the real highlight, again, was the trailer for Luke Cage, which, honestly, just looks perfect.
Yeah, so viewers were first introduced to Luke Cage in the first season of Jessica Jones, but now it's time for him to shine on his own, and this trailer is all about showing off just what an indestructible badass he is. They take a page right out of the Daredevil playbook and show Luke Cage fighting his way through the hallways of a building, but he's doing so absolutely effortlessly, unlike that pussy Daredevil.
Blind ass.
He's beating people up with a car door, and he's absorbing bullet wounds like a sponge without even
feels
flinching.
like Raid the Redemption.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to wait until September 30th for the whole thing to be released, but hopefully Netflix releases more footage of this because it just looks fucking cool.
I was very excited to see that it's September 30th because I always forget when these things are coming out because it's hard to follow the release dates. And I was like, shit, that's only 2 months away.
Yeah, I'm like more stoked for this. Just, they barely show anything in this trailer, but I'm just like, I'm in. I'm fucking sold.
Well, it was funny too. I watched the Luke Cage trailer first before the Iron Fist trailer, and I was like, well, this looks garbage.
Iron Fist was a teaser that had some footage, and then the Defenders was like not even a teaser. It was just a bunch of like
Luke Cage
panels.
It was a stand up and cheer trailer.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Anyway, but on to DC things for this side of Comic-Con. We got new trailers for Suicide Squad, which is only 2 weeks away.
Wow.
One focuses on Harley Quinn and the other on the Joker. The Joker one is clearly more revealing of the two since, you know, they've been very careful not to show too much of him in previous trailers. There's been plenty of doubt over whether Jared Leto, a man who at 38 years old founded 30 Seconds to Mars in an attempt to rekindle his youth and profit off of screamo music, they were wondering if he could pull this role off, but his acting career is solid. The new character trailer has us sold, at least.
Yeah.
This Joker is an over-the-top weirdo in a way we haven't seen before, and his voice especially pays homage to previous Jokers while standing on its own.
Yeah, it's got like, it definitely borrows a lot from Mark Hamill, but it's got some Jack Nicholson in there. It's got just a touch of Heath Ledger.
And a whole splash of Hot Topic.
He goes real deep and when he's angry, and then he's really high. I love that. So anyway, in other Comic-Con news, Conan O'Brien, who for the last few years has taken his show down to San Diego for the con, decided this year to commission his own superhero costume from Ironhead Studios, who have been responsible for many on-screen superhero costumes over the years. And judging by the amount of muscle mass and pelvic mass
It's quite the codpiece.
They were able to give Conan quite a bit there, and it's a beautiful product, but it raises a lot of questions about what they've enhanced for other superhero suits over the years.
Well, the thing is, Conan O'Brien's penis always looks small because he's such a tall man.
Yeah, he could have a 10-inch penis and be like,
well,
really, that's it,
know.
Conan?
Come on, Conan. Anyways, we're sure there's probably other stuff that's important that's happening down at Comic-Con that we may have missed. But our binoculars, they're not that great. And also, we haven't cared as much this year because we're not down there. Oh, cool, a new toy.
Hello, fellow adult. I'd like to pay $300 for that exclusive doll.
Yes. Anyways, if anything else comes up, we'll report on that this Monday. I doubt it. It's already
all the big
midday
stuff's
Friday.
over.
Yeah. So let's switch gears entirely and check out what's been going on at the other clown show in town, fucking Cleveland and the RNC. Whew. Well, since we already told you about Melania Trump's speechwriter, maybe definitely lifting some lines from Michelle Obama's 2008 DNC speech, and the fact that Republican Representative Steve King said some shit live on TV that was okay. It definitely was interpreted to be extremely racist.
Yeah.
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 And he was unprompted. He just
launched straight into it. You know what? I'm sick. He's
Whoa.
like, yeah. Woo. Anyways, there was a bunch of other shit that happened. Things stretched out over 4 days. Jesus. But these conventions are always the closest thing to a political circle jerk that you can get without all the delegates actually giving each other hand jobs. That's for later in the hotel room.
Yeah.
And next week's DNC will probably be no different.
Yeah, so the big highlight was, of course, the Donald Trump speech on Thursday night, which we will admit was very passionate, very articulate, and very full of statistics and examples to illustrate his points.
Yeah.
Only problem is, and this is true of all politicians, Donald Trump and the rest, you should never just take these people at their word. Seriously. Yeah. And luckily for you, you live in a wonderful time where you have the internet, and sites like politifact.com and factcheck.org have been around for a very long time to do exactly that. They fact-check statements by politicians in all parties to see if the shit that they spew is actual facts. And we would strongly advise you to check out those sites to see just how truthy Donald Trump's speech really was.
They were burning the midnight oil last night. You could see how stressed they were towards like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. They were like,
God damn it, Donald. But also, yeah, just go follow them on social media and check back for next week's DNC, obviously, because it's likely that, like with the RNC, there's going to be a lot of half-truths and flat-out lies being trotted out for the rest of this never-ending election cycle.
Hopefully during the DNC, we won't have to be basically told that we're living in Armageddon. Yeah, guys, can you believe we woke up today and we weren't on fire?
Yeah.
It's a miracle.
I mean, it's definitely a version of the world
that's okay, sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I think everyone, all pretty much on every side of the issues can agree is that Ted Cruz is a very, very sad, sore loser.
Yeah.
Unlike guys like John Kasich, who let their absence and silence speak for whether or not they support Trump, Ted Cruz, Lion Ted, decided to attend the RNC and give a speech, both outside the convention and inside, endorsing Trump in neither of the speeches. His speech earlier outside the convention was hilariously drowned out by Trump's private jet flying loudly overhead, and his speech from within the RNC elicited boos all around. And are they saying boo or boo earns? No one can tell. It also led to some amazing shit-talking from major GOP Trump supporters at the convention.
Yeah, the best shit-talking, I think, came from Representative Peter King, not to be confused with Steve King.
Mm-hmm.
There's many Kings in the House of Representatives.
Too many kings in the kitchen.
Peter King, he told CNN, "Tonight, America saw the real Ted Cruz. He's a fraud, he's a self-centered liar, and should be disqualified from ever being considered as a nominee for President of the United States in the future. I never liked the guy, never trusted him, but tonight was the worst. To take the time at a national convention and not endorse the nominee is disgraceful."
And he also poops in the pool.
He poops in the pool, and he killed a bunch of people in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, as the Zodiac Killer.
As the Zodiac Killer.
Slimy Ted. Anyways, in terms of election coverage, the most fun and surprising view of the whole thing came from Stephen Colbert's Late Show, which really hit its stride by allowing Colbert to return to the political humor that made him famous in the first place back on Comedy Central. And also that included a lovely reunion between Colbert and his old boss, Jon Stewart, who Colbert brought out of retirement to report on political news. And Jon Stewart fell right back into his old rhythm, reminding everyone that he's one of the greats and that no one gets as righteously infuriated quite like Jon Stewart.
Yeah, it was just beautiful.
Yeah, and nobody's calling him a cuck.
No. He's uncuckable. Mm-hmm. So Colbert himself fell back.
The man saves animals.
He is.
He's a great man. He's a hero.
Lives out in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
So Colbert himself fell back into his old Colbert Report character for the RNC. He rode triumphantly onto the set in a chariot holding a sword and a Captain America shield, flanked by patriots and barely clothed men in American flag shorts. And he launched into his classic Colbert Report segment, The Word. And the word this week was obviously Trumpiness. Colbert even brought back the old graphics and music from his old show. It was beautiful, it was nostalgic, and the whole thing really drove home how much Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert of the previous 4 elections is needed this time around.
Yeah, I don't want to be rude, but it really did spit in the face of Trevor Noah, who has had a year to really shine. And he
doing
does
fine.
He does fine.
Yeah.
But it's like putting a minor league baseball player in the majors and being like, "Why? Come on, what's the deal here?"
Yeah. He's still trying to make the throne fit.
Yeah.
But it's a big fucking throne.
It's like putting a minor league baseball player up against Mark McGwire when he was fully roided out on steroids. Yeah. And put them in a home run derby.
Yeah.
Jon Stewart is the man is prolific. So yeah. Anyways, Jesus Christ, there has been way too much to cover this week. It's been quite a week. We actually missed a day because you want some news? Southwest Airlines had a nationwide glitch that shut down their site and all the flights. We were on a flight.
It's all right. I can sit in the middle seat on the fucking runway at Las Vegas McCann Airport with no air conditioning.
110 degrees.
God!
Yeah. Anyways, we lost an entire day because of that, so we have a lot of stories today. But let's get through this as fast as we can because that Legendary Pictures Pokemon movie that we reported on last week has been confirmed to be happening, and it's going to be about Detective Pikachu rather than the main Pokemon premise. So it's not going to be about catching Pokemon. It's going to be about a Pikachu who can somehow talk and solve mysteries. Naturally, this revived earlier fan enthusiasm for getting Danny DeVito to play Detective Pikachu in a movie, and I hope Legendary is listening. You better listen to the fans on this one, Legendary.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
It's happening. It's like, who else would they get? Come on.
Bob Hoskins.
Jared Leto?
He'd be method for it.
He would.
He would make himself be able to electrify things. I'm constantly hooked up to a car battery now. I'm Jared Leto.
Anyway, bad news for all you Divergent fans.
Where are they?
Oh, I guess none of you are Divergent fans. I suppose that makes sense because after the third Divergent movie, Allegiant.
That was the third?
Yeah, I was surprised too.
What's the first one? Divergent?
It was Divergent, Insurgent, and then Allegiant.
Okay.
That came out around Christmas, I think, and it totally fucking bombed at the box office.
Yeah.
So Lionsgate will be concluding the series much less ambitiously with a TV movie that they hope will set the stage for a Divergent TV series so they can milk the last drops of fucking cum out of his teat.
That's where cum comes from?
This is pretty much unprecedented. It's never happened before with a big franchise, and people aren't even sure if the original cast contracts for the franchise will cover a TV movie. So who knows if they'll just get a completely different, lower budget cast to end this train wreck of a series with a whimper. This might be the age of the franchise, but Divergent has just proven that sometimes that kind of ambition can make shit real awkward if you're still not done telling your story and barely anyone gives a shit about it.
Yep. So, anyways, there was just a fuckload of trailers this week because of Comic-Con and people that are trying to, people put out trailers because it's Comic-Con week. Regardless if they're there showing off this show specifically, it's a good week to get your trailer out there. Let's just blow through them real quick. Netflix showed off the upcoming second season of Narcos, the show about real-life Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar and the agents who hunted for him. This season, Pablo is on the run from Colombian authorities, and it looks like there will be a lot of bloodshed. Narcos returns to Netflix on September 2nd, as long as Pablo Escobar's brother
Let me see the script.
Give me the script. Anyways.
Your brother was a vicious drug lord, sir. I think we got
No, the people loved him.
I want to make sure you're not saying any bad things about Pablo Escobar.
The man brought hippos to Colombia. They're doing great.
Okay, there's a new trailer for The Magnificent Seven, the remake of the old Western, which was itself a remake of the Akira Kurosawa film The Seven Samurai. And this looks like it's going to be an action-packed good time with lots of cool guy one-liners tossed between Chris Pratt and Denzel Washington and the other 5 magnificent guys with guns. Doesn't look too heavy. It just looks like a fun sort of action movie.
Everyone keeps saying cool guys and fun and funny quips and stuff. The original movie it's almost a tragedy. You have this poor Mexican town who is just getting bandits coming in and just raping and pillaging, and then finally these great 7 people just come in. These great Americans come in.
Yul Brynner was born in Russia, okay?
Well,
he was a great American.
He also played the king in The King and I, the King of Siam. So
Yeah.
he could play any role. Anyways, there's also a new trailer for Sausage Party, that animated movie from Seth Rogen that is definitely not for children, about living supermarket foods who have to fight to survive as humans try to ruthlessly eat them. So it's great to see the usual kid-friendly CGI movie tropes get turned on their head into something very dark, very crude, and with very good voice talent behind it, including Seth Rogen, Kristen Wiig, Jonah Hill, Bill Hader, Michael Cera, James Franco, Danny McBride, Craig Robinson, Paul Rudd, and Nick Kroll. The gang's all together.
Woo!
Sausage Party comes out in theaters August 11th. Do not bring your kids. The early reviews out of Comic-Con said that this movie is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
One of the few trailers out of Comic-Con that barely had any business at all premiering at a comic convention was Oliver Stone's Snowden, about Edward Snowden and the whole data breach about NSA watching all our emails and shit that led to Snowden becoming one of the most wanted international fugitives on Earth. Joseph Gordon-Levitt stars as Snowden. Shailene Woodley stars as his girlfriend. Hopefully this works out a little better than Divergent. And according to the real Edward Snowden, who actually video chatted live with the Comic-Con panel, it sounds like it's going to be pretty accurate. Although, anytime you got Oliver Stone working on a movie, you can never really be too sure.
Yeah.
The guy likes to twist the facts around, but I guess we'll find out when Snowden comes out in theaters on September 16th.
I still love his George W. Bush movie.
W was fun.
Yeah.
Like, W didn't try
took
to,
a lot
like,
of liberties.
JFK is atrocious, though. JFK, like, he just invented a fake fucking story and presented it as fact. Very dishonest.
Anyways, you want to see George W. Bush drinking and driving and stuff and partying all the time. Great movie.
Yeah, it was great.
Anyway.
Choking on a pretzel.
Then there's a spooky new trailer for Before I Wake, starring little Jacob Tremblay as a boy who gets adopted by a couple played by Tom Jane and Kate Bosworth, who soon realize that the reason their new son is afraid of going to sleep is that his dreams, good and bad, actually come true around him. Before I Wake comes out on September 9th, and I'm sure it has nothing to do with Nightmare on Elm Street, but we can't be sure.
No, it's similar, but it's different. It looks good. This looks like a solid horror movie.
Sure.
And speaking of spooky, and for our final trailer, he's literally the modern day incarnation of Jim Varney's Ernest. Yeah. Tyler Perry is back yet again with his latest entry into the Madea canon.
Madea Scared Stupid.
No, that was already taken by Ernest. This one called Boo, a Madea Halloween.
And it's about trolls who are afraid of milk.
Well, we don't know that yet. It's literally, the title is literally based off the title for a fake Madea movie that Chris Rock wrote into his 2014 film Top 5. Tyler Perry even admitted this. He watched Top 5, he saw Chris Rock making fun of him, and decided to actually go through with making a real version of Chris Rock's Madea spoof.
Does Chris Rock appear?
I doubt it. Maybe, I don't know. And yes, we are going to see this shit in theaters because it looks fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
We might even do a meetup for it.
The Halloween ETC meetup.
Yeah, we all got to show up in costume, watch a good old Madea movie as a family, because Madea it's a family franchise. They all pray at the end. It's a good God-fearing franchise for the family.
Yeah, good for everyone.
But yeah, Tyler Perry, I hope this is peak Madea. Where can he go from now?
So
Space?
what has Ernest done that he hasn't done?
Well,
we did Madea Jail, Ernest Jail.
Ernest went to Africa.
He
I'd
did?
love to see Madea
Yeah, there
in
we go.
Africa. That would be a real, like, culture clash.
Ernest went to camp. Did Madea go to camp yet?
No, I don't think so. There's
So
been a
then-
lot of Madeas. There's been like 20 Madeas.
Yeah, so we don't know.
Not all of them go to theaters.
Let us know if Madea went to camp in the comments below, but also check out our other videos over here. We have a brand new episode of Tugs where people are threatening other people are lying, people are cheating, everything's gone wrong
Sneaking
because
around.
it is the gaming community and nothing goes right.
Nope.
Also a brand new episode of Weekly Weird News where, well, you just described it.
You ever want to know what a fully evolved human looks like? It's not what you think. It's kind of gross.
Or it's exactly what you think.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then be sure to watch our podcast from last week where we had Ryan Holiday on to talk about how ego is the enemy, and this week it couldn't have been more perfect for this podcast to come out.
Yeah.
Also, we have a podcast tomorrow. Be sure to check it out where we discuss the fact that 2016 might be the worst year ever.
Fuck 2016.
And
Fuck
have
it.
a good weekend.